After speaking with hundreds of online tutors and tutoring centers, I realized that there is a massive parent-funded market that most tutors are simply overlooking. And that's exactly why so many tutoring businesses get stuck on the same income ceiling. They do countless sessions, juggle students, cover for their employees, but they never actually break into consistent and predictable growth. That's exactly what was happening with Jared, who was stuck at 2K per month from his front-end ads and was able to go to 26K within the first 30 days of installing the nurturing ad system. Or Sajib, who was stuck at 10K per month and within the first 30 days of again installing the nurturing ad system was able to go to 24K per month. And in this video, I'm gonna break down exactly how you can install this exact same ad system to scale your own tutoring business. I'm gonna break down the exact niche, subject, and exam that you need and all of the foundational work that you need to do before you actually start, running ads and getting clients. I'm gonna break down exactly how to structure your offer for your specific exam/subject. I'm gonna break down the exact lead generation strategy to get attention, to let people essentially know that, hey, you exist and you're able to take customers. And lastly, I'm gonna let you know exactly how to sell all of that attention and convert all that attention into paying clients. Okay? And then I'm gonna give you a step-by-step launch and first sales plan. You see, tutoring is expected to go from 10 billion in market size that it's at right now to 27 billion by 2030. So getting in right now is the same as getting into Bitcoin in 2013. And before I jump into the video, just do yourself a favor, join our Facebook group. It's gonna be in the description of this video. Inside the group, I share weekly insights, breakdowns, and even live coaching call recordings that my clients pay me to do. So you've got absolutely nothing to lose. It's completely free. Link in the description of the video. Now let's jump in. The first thing we need to figure out is what exam are we going to be targeting. Now for the purpose of this video, I picked the SAT. If you're from the UK, A-levels work great, GCSEs work great, the 11 plus works great as well. If you're from the US, the AP exams work great, LSAT works great, MCAT works great. There's a lot of different options that you can pick from. For the purpose of this video, I picked the SAT. But you do want to make sure that you're at least targeting something. Even if it's like an ISEE or anything, you need an exam. Because people don't want homework help, right? And even if they do want it, they're not willing to pay a lot of money for homework help because you're not solving a real problem, right? Like a parent can sit down with a child and help with their homework for free. So how much are they really willing to pay you just to save that 15 minutes? Not a whole lot. However, when we're talking about some serious entry exams like SAT that, helps you get into your college or university, or A-levels to do the same thing, or advanced placement exams, all that stuff has some actual anxiety around it, and you're actually solving a real problem. You're helping people get into a certain school so that they can have a certain career path and ultimately a certain life, right? Cool. So who is our target customer? Well, a lot of people mess this up and they target kids, they target students, right? Which kind of makes sense. Students are going to be taking the SAT, right? Parents don't take it. But you need to realize students don't have any money. For that reason, you need to start targeting parents, right? And I'm gonna get more into exactly how you do that with content and with ads. But just for now, know that you need to speak to parents for the most part, unless you're doing like LSAT or MCAT, in which case students are a bit older so you can target them directly. Okay, so what is their desired outcome? So for the SAT, most people, just from experience, want to get a 1500. If you're talking about A-levels, most people want to get an A or A star, GCSEs 8 or 9, and so on for all the other exams as well, right? Most people want to get like the highest possible score, or like at least 90%. Now, I want you to think a little bit further here. It's not just about the score. Think about why do they want the score in the first place, okay? For the SAT, for example, most want to get into Ivy Leagues, right? They might not be able to, but most aspire to go there, or some other like high level college. Some people also want to go to medical school, or they want to go to law school, right? So you want to figure out exactly what their desired outcome is, not just the exact score they want, but also what they want out of that score, right? Why do they actually want the score? So once we have that down, we can already move into section 2. Create the offer structure. So if we've defined that they want to get a 1500, how can you get most people to a 1500? Now, you can't get everyone there. However, you can usually get a 200 point increase on the SAT. If we're talking about A-levels, it's usually like 1 or 2 grade increase and so on for other exams, right? But here you can usually promise a 200 point increase. Okay, 200 points, that's still pretty hard to do. So how do we actually do that? Well, we found that it's best to do either 8 to 16 week programs. Now, in those programs, you want to do usually 2 group sessions and add in one one-on-one session. Now, why do you want to do group and one-on-one? Well, most of the material can be explained in a group setting. So you just want to increase your hourly rate by doing group, because you can group students together, right? They pay you and you can teach multiple at the same time, meaning you get more per hour, right? But some stuff has to be taught one-on-one. So for that reason, you include one weekly one-to-one session just to make sure that everyone's still progressing and everyone is on track. As a bonus, you also want to offer them mock exams, right? Slash assignments. Now, why do you want to do that? Well, because you want to test their knowledge as they go through the program. Remember, we want to actually make sure that they get that 200-point increase, or they get to a 1500 at least, right? This is usually the standard program that we craft for our clients as well. Most of the time it's 12-week, but some people would prefer 8, some people prefer 16. That's not really that important. As long as you know that whatever program you build here is actually gonna get them that 200-point increase, in this case for the SAT, right? Or for A levels, a 1 grade increase. And lastly, we wanna price the offer. So for the SAT specifically, we noticed that a good price point to start off with is gonna be $2,000 because if you present like a 12-week program, you show them how many group sessions you've got, you show them that you've got one-on-one sessions exam, you've got mock exams, you've got assignments, and you actually show them exactly step by step how you're going to get them that 200-point increase so that they can ultimately get to that 1500, maybe not 1500, but 1400 or 1300 at least. They're going to see like, okay, this makes sense and I can see how this is going to help my kid out. Most people are going to be willing to pay at least $2,000 for that. Most of our clients start with 2.5K in the beginning for the SAT, but if we want to be on the safe side, we want to get students as fast as possible, $2,000 is completely doable. If I give you some UK examples, and you've structured a similar program to this, let's say for GCSEs or A levels, £1,500 is gonna do just fine as a starting point. So once we have the offer and we've got the price, we then need to get some attention. So here we've got organic strategy and we got the paid ads strategy as well. For the organic strategy, what we want to do here is we want to teach people, we want to give value, right? And we're going to have 3 types of videos. We're going to have reaction videos, we're gonna do talking head videos, and we're gonna do teaching videos, okay? Now, reaction videos are just here to get attention, right? You wanna react to stuff that has gone viral on TikTok, on Instagram, stuff that is within your niche, your subject, your exam. So for my case, I wanna look at SAT, just literally type in SAT into Instagram search bar or TikTok search bar, get a bunch of videos that have gone viral and react to them, right? So how you do reaction videos is you start with the original and you have your face there looking at the video, and then halfway through the video or at the end of the video, you just give your reaction slash add your insights. These are most likely to get views because you're literally just hijacking the virality that this video already got and adding your opinion to it. This has the highest likelihood of going viral and getting you some new attention. Talking head videos, this is where we convert that attention, meaning this is where we primarily speak to parents, explain what we do, explain how we do it, and at the end offer some sort of CTA for them to take action, right? Either we give them some free value, we give them a freebie, or we prompt them to book a call directly, right? So this is conversion targeted at parents, right? For parents. And lastly, we've got teaching videos. This is about nurturing the audience. So here we literally just want to teach. It's best if you have like a whiteboard and you literally just solve problems. Like for the SAT, we're going to solve math and English problems. Literally just write out the math problem, start solving it. If you're doing math, if you're teaching chemistry, chemistry equations, chemistry molecules, literally just give them value, teach them completely for free. Usually one problem is best because you can fit it into a 30-second or 1 minute or maybe 2-minute video. Now, the whole purpose of the organic strategy is not necessarily to get sales right away. The purpose here is to capture all of the people that are going to come from our paid ad strategy and make sure that they see we're a legit person, we know what we're talking about, we have a following, and we can get results, right? Around 50% of people that come from the ads actually look you up on Instagram or on other social media platforms. So it is crucial that you have a social media presence, because if you don't, people are gonna look you up, see that there's either no profile at all, or that the profile looks like some personal profile with no thought put behind it, and it's not really about tutoring at all. They're not gonna trust you, and they're not gonna buy. A lot of people completely overlook this section, and that's why their ads don't work. So for the paid ad strategy, here we're gonna be using meta ads. And I'm gonna give you a very simple meta ad structure. So first we got the hook, then we got the body, then we got the CTA. So for the hook, you want to lead with a promise and a market call out. What would be a promise? Well, if your child is taking the SAT and wants to get a 1500, we will help them get there in 12 weeks, or we will get them there in 12 weeks, right? So this is the promise and the market call out. Market call out is if your child is taking the SAT, right? So we're calling out parents of kids who are gonna take the SAT, and a clear promise. This is just to get people's attention, right? Once you have their attention, you need to explain to them how you can promise such a result, right? So if we go to the body, here you need to just explain how you can promise that, how your program works, and how you're different. And this should be roughly 30 to 60 seconds. So we hook them in by calling them out if your child is taking the SAT and wants to get this to a 1500, we'll help them get there in 12 weeks. Body, explain how you promise that, how your program works, and how you're different to everyone else. And lastly, as the CTA, you just give them a very, very simple next step. So they've just watched the ad, they're at the last 5 or 10 seconds. What do you tell them? If this sounds like something you're interested in, click learn more below this video. That's it, just click learn more. So now our media buyer is gonna show you exactly how to set all of this up inside the actual ads manager, like exactly which buttons you need to click, exactly which settings you need to toggle on, so that you're gonna know exactly what you need to do to actually implement all of this.
Okay, so we're gonna go exactly through the steps that you have to take to set up your campaign, from the campaign level to the ad level to the copy to the CTA, step by step what you have to do before you can publish your ads. Once you have your ads filmed and edited, you come into the ads manager and you see the little green button here, create. That's gonna create the campaign. So if we start with the actual campaign, first off, you're gonna have to choose the campaign objective. So we're gonna go with the leads one. The reason behind that is because we want them to fill out the instant form, right? The instant form is gonna be before the actual landing page, because that's gonna enable us is to message them and to call them before they actually reach the landing page. So for example, if they go onto the landing page and they don't act and book a call, we can still send them booking links, we can nurture them, and we can call them as well and then schedule them manually. After that, you're gonna have to choose the campaign setup. Now just choose the manual leads campaign, because what we're gonna be doing is gonna be very detailed. We've literally spent hundreds of thousands of dollars in the actual tutoring niche on tutoring ads, testing all of these campaigns, testing all of these setups, testing everything here, everything that you can imagine. And this is the best, the most profitable way of running ads. So you can just copy it step by step. So choose the manual campaign, don't overthink it. After that, you're gonna go to the ad set setup. This is where you're gonna choose your conversion location. For us, this is gonna be instant forms, which I'm gonna show you how to customize as well. Then we have the daily capital investment. Now, if you have, as advised, 2 hooks and 1 body, you're gonna have 2 ads, and I would highly advise that you do at least $10 a day per creative. So you're gonna have 2 creatives, right? 2 hooks, 1 body. It's gonna give you 2 creatives. If you can't do 20 a day, if that's too much for you, go with one hook, just do 10 a day, because if you're gonna have a lower budget than that, the results are gonna be too slow. You're gonna have to wait weeks before you can make changes, before you know if it works or not, and $20 a day is enough. For example, we had Mario. He spent £600 on ads and made 10k a month, or a month. He also spent £600 a month and made 15k. You really don't need huge budgets if you have the ad optimized the way that I'm gonna show you today, and the ad copy actually speaks to the ideal parent, right? If you're actually selling them something that they want, this is gonna be enough. You don't really need much more than that, okay? So end date, leave that as none. Region of launch, depending on where you are, just change the location, US, UK, Canada, and then we have the age. Now there is a reason behind the 35 and 55, because this is where the majority of parents are, right? Now if you have an offer or a subject that adult children take, for example the LSAT exam, MCAT, stuff like that, where they finance the tuition themselves, you can do, for example, like 220, 255. You can go lower with this one depending on who you target, but you don't want kids on the exams. For example, if you tutor the SAT or the GCAC, you don't want teens on the actual calls because first off, they're not the decision makers, and second, they don't have money, right? And that's exactly why we're gonna check off this box, because by default it's gonna be on. So just uncheck it, because we don't want to use this as a suggestion. We want to define a hard line of who we are targeting. Then we have the interest. So for example, let's say that you're targeting the SAT. What are the ideal clients' interests? What are they interested in? They're gonna be interested in college. For example, legal education. They want to go into law. They want to go to medical school. And the SAT itself. Now, we do want to keep this as a suggestion. The reason behind that is because if we limit Facebook to only target people with this interest, we're gonna be missing out on parents that aren't using social media as much. There might be parents that maybe just check social media once or twice a day and aren't really active, but they might still be the perfect fit for our service. And Facebook might have the data for it to be certain that they're the right type of prospect. To be honest, like, we're being tracked everywhere we go. Even if, like, what I'm talking about right now, right? I'm gonna have getting ads about ads just because I'm talking about them. It's crazy, right? So we want to use this as a suggestion. Let's not limit Facebook here. And then we go into the placements. So we're not gonna use audience networks, which is gonna be on by default. So turn this off. As a service business, we're not gonna use audience networks. Facebook and Instagram only. And then we have the placements. So we're gonna be advertising on the feed, profile feed, Instagram profile feed, Facebook video ads, Instagram stories, Facebook stories, Instagram reels, profile reels, Facebook in-stream reels, and ads on Facebook reels. Everything that's not underlined here, turn it off. Again, we've tested it. You don't want to be running on other placements. After that, the ad set is pretty much done. We're gonna move to the ad setup. So first off, the first thing you want to do when you enter the ad level, turn off the multi-advertiser ads. What that does is your ads are gonna appear, are gonna appear alongside other ads, right? Okay, so if you think about it, right, why are the tutoring platforms bad, right? It's because you're commoditized. They force you to compete with other tutors, and we don't want that. We want to be isolated from the market. And if we have this on, we're gonna be displayed alongside other tutors, meaning that parents are gonna compare us to other people. We don't even want to be compared in the first place. So just turn it off, and then the destination is gonna be the instant form. So just to create form, and then now we're gonna go into creating the actual instant form. So the first thing that you're gonna want to do is in the intro, just use your offer, tell them what you're offering, and then we're gonna go into the questions, right? So the first thing you want to do is turn on conditional logic. What we're gonna be doing here is we're gonna be excluding people. So first off, we can use qualifications here, right, to exclude them. Are you the student or are you the parent? If they're a student, we want to send them to a non-leads page. They're not considered a lead. What's gonna happen here is if we disqualify people and tell Facebook that they're not a lead, Facebook's gonna know, hey, the type of person that I targeted was not the ideal type of person. So they're gonna be optimizing for the leads. So eventually, Facebook's gonna be learning on the type of people that it's targeting, and the performance is just gonna get better with time because Facebook's learning. So we're gonna be, as the baseline, excluding students. Now, if you have an offer where you have certain qualifications that the parents need to fulfill, feel free to add those as well. You can just add another question right here, add a question, do answers, and then you can add the logic to it as well. Usually that's gonna be enough. We're gonna go to the copy setup. So there's three things that we can modify here or add here. First one is the primary text. The next one is the headline, and then the description. The very last one is gonna be call to action. Again, use learn more. We've tested all of the call to actions. Learn more performs the best. There's studies across hundreds of offers, and learn more performs the best. So just go with it. Now, where does the actual copy even go? So the primary text is gonna go above the ad. The headline is gonna go right below the ad. The description below that, and the CTA is gonna be here. And then that's the media. So if we go into the primary text, what should the structure be? So first off, the same thing as we do with the actual ad script. This is gonna follow the same principles. First off, we wanna open up with a hook. If your teen wants a shot at a top school or competitive careers like medicine or engineering, we could even listen up, right? And then we go into the pain points of the market and the benefits of your service. So most students are stuck with generic prep or scattered advice from TikTok and YouTube. We do things differently, right? Full diagnostic, personalized plan, expert tutors, weekly check-ins, 24/7 support, real results, not recycled worksheets. After that, we're gonna follow up with the credibility. So same as in the ad, we've helped hundreds of students crush the SAT, and we only take 5 students per month to keep our quality high. And that's using urgency as well. After that, we're gonna transition into the CTA. Click learn more to book a free consultation and get your team on track to 1500 plus. So the same way we do the ad, the same type of structure, because we want to get the parent to read through this primary text. Now what you can do is you can leverage ChatGPT, upload your ad copy and just tell it, hey, generate me a primary text for my ad. Use the hook, pain to plus benefits, credibility and CTA structure, and it's gonna write you exactly that. After that, we're gonna transition into headlines. So that's gonna be below the actual ad next to the CTA. So what we can use here is 3 types of headlines. So first one is gonna be the desired state. So secure your 1500 SAT score, direct offer pretty much. Medicine, law, engineering starts with a 1500. This is what they want, right? They want to go into medicine, into law, into engineering. They want to secure a 1500. And then we have urgency. Don't miss this month's enrollment deadline. So in the ad, we're promoting this great offer that we have, but then next to the CTA, if we have don't miss this month's enrollment deadline, oh shit, I have to apply, right? I don't want to miss this out, right? I have to know more about what I do, and it's gonna give them urgency. Then we have FOMO as well. This means fear of missing out. So guarantee your teen's college future and give your teen the best possible chances at securing the future they deserve. Now, what the ads manager is gonna do, or the ad account is gonna do, you can even have more primary text, like we have 5 headlines. It's gonna test all of those, and it's gonna run with the one that does the best. Just have as many options possible to give the ad account the best possible chances of succeeding. And then we have the description. Now, one thing I would like to mention about the description is it's not gonna be shown on most of our placements. That means that it's not really that important, but if we are gonna have it, let's just add it, because why not? Let's use urgency here. Only 5 spots per month. Book your free consultation call before they are gone. After that, we publish the ad, and that's pretty much it. So just follow everything that I went through step by step. Use all of the placements, all of the settings that I've used, and you're gonna succeed. Especially the ad copy. Like, take your time with it, because this is the reason that our tutors succeed, right? Because none of the other tutors are going this deep, right? Nobody goes that deep into the actual ad copy. Everyone is just surface level. No one goes into the pain points of the market. No one goes into the actual desires of the market. It's not really that hard to stand out in the tutoring market. You just have to provide the market, or use the language that's gonna resonate with the actual market.
Now, after they click learn more on the video, where do they go? Well, they get sent to the funnel. So what is the funnel? The funnel is essentially a website with a VSL, which is a video sales letter, explaining in more detail about how you work, how you're different, what type of results you get, and another CTA for them to book a call. So CTA to book a call. Okay, now on the VSL, you want to have a very similar structure to the actual ads. So you start the VSL by introducing yourself / the company, and then immediately show results, okay? Because people don't care that much about you or how you work or any of that. They want results. So you start off the VSL, introduce yourself, you show some results that you've gotten to students, and then after that, you tell them how you get those results. That is pretty much it, okay? And then lastly, CTA, book a call. They should book a call if they want to learn more about how this would work for their specific child and what kind of program you can create for their specific kid. That's pretty much it. So just a simple website with a video on it, explaining how you get results, explaining the results you've gotten in the past, throw in some credentials if you got them, if you went to Harvard, if your tutors that you hired go to Harvard or have went to Ivy League schools, whatever. Flash that, show them that, flex a little bit, make them wear that, you know what you're talking about, okay? After they've booked a call, now you have them on your calendar. By the way, to book a call, very simply, just use Calendly. It's literally free. Just go to calendly.com. I'm not affiliated with them. Just use the software. It's free and it works great. So once you have them on your Calendly, then you have a scheduled call with these people. You need a sales call framework. So sales calls are made from 3 parts, okay? You've got discovery, you've got the pitch, and you've got objection handling. So for the discovery, here you really just want to get a good understanding of what their situation is. The first thing that you need to get out the way in the discovery are gonna be surface level questions. So if you need to ask them which exam board they're going to be taking the test on, if you need to ask them what year they're in, if just like any surface level question that you have, ask them first thing when you start the call. After that, you want to get into problem. So here you ask them, okay, what is the current struggle with preparing for the SAT or the A levels or GCSEs or AP exams or 11 plus, whatever you're doing. Now, some people, as you are aware, will tell you, oh, my son is not really struggling. Oh, he's doing fine. Okay, not a problem. What is their desired score? Okay, we want to get them to a 1500. Cool. Now there's 2 paths here. Either they've already taken the exam and they got a 1300, in which case you very simply point out, okay, well, you tell me that your son isn't struggling, which is fine, but you got a 1300 and you want to get to a 1500. So what is preventing them from getting to a 1500? And you just overcame that whole objection of like, oh, we're doing good, we're doing good. Second scenario is if they are taking an exam that can only be taken once, meaning they have not taken it before. So it's like, okay, in that case, you just point out, I guess, what has you reaching out to potentially get some external help? Why not just, study by yourself? Why do you need extra help with this? Oh, because blah, 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 because we're struggling with the English portion or that or whatever, right? So here you want to get to the problem. What is the problem with studying for the SAT? Why do you think that is? How long the problem has been going on for? Like, how long have you been struggling with the math section? Oh, it's been 3 months. Okay. And I guess what have you done so far to fix that problem? Get them to expand, right? Get them to tell you what they've tried. Have they tried books? Have they tried another tutor? If they've tried another tutor, how did that go? What did you like? What didn't you like? You need to get all of that information so that you can properly sell them and actually convert them on the call. Once you went over the problem, you then go into goals. So here you want to talk about, okay, so I understand the goal score for you is 1500, right? But why is that important though? Is there any college or university you want to get into? Okay, which one? Okay, why that school? Okay, is there any career path you want to get into? Like, you want to be an engineer? What kind of job do you want to have? The reason why I want them to expand on the goals is because we want them to visualize the life that they can have if they take the exam seriously, right? Because the beauty of all these exams is that they have a massive impact on people's lives. The SAT, the A levels, GCSEs, 11 plus, all of these exams have massive demand for tutoring because they change people's lives, because they allow them to get into a better school, thus allow them to get into a better career path and a better job. Like, people literally spend 8 hours a day at their job, and how well they do on this exam is going to determine which job that is, how well that job pays. So this has a massive effect on their life, okay? So you want them to understand that. And only once you went over all of this do you go into the pitch. Most students make the mistake of skipping all of this and starting to talk about the program straight away. And then they drop the price and they try an objection handle, which you don't know how to do in the first place. And then they wonder why people don't buy. Also, with pitching, all you need to do is show them how the program gets them to the desired score. That's it. We usually include 3 or 4 pillars. Okay, we do this method, this method, this method, this thing, and this is how we get you to 1500. Makes sense? Okay, and then lastly, show them how it's delivered. So how many sessions, one-on-one or group, etc. You do that last. And then you gauge. Okay, so how does this sound so far? Get them to tell you if they, like the program, if they don't like it. Cool. If they like it, you drop the price. By the way, after you drop price, you don't keep talking, you don't keep selling the program. Wait for them to digest. A lot of people mess themselves up because they drop price and they keep selling the program, When you do that, you don't give people enough time to properly digest price and properly digest all the information. So just be quiet, let them digest, let them think about it for a sec, and then they're gonna maybe even buy right away. If they don't, you start handling objections. With objection handling, you always need to get context. So let's say they say, oh, send me all this in an email, right? Okay, no worries. I guess, what would you like me to include in that email? And they tell you, and then you handle that objection. Or if they say, partner, or they say, I need to think about it. Okay, I guess, is there anything specific that you need to think about? And then again, handle the objection that they just told you, right? Now, if you don't really know what's going on and telling its partner and I need to think about it, and it's a bunch of other stuff as well. The only thing that you can do, and this works great, is go to logistical money. What this means is that usually when people need to think about it or need to talk to someone, they usually need to think about the money or talk to them about the money. Because if you've done a good job so far in discovering the pitch, they shouldn't really need to think about the program because they know it's good. You know, you showed them that it's good and it gets results. So they should be convinced on the program. The only thing they're not convinced on is, do they have the full 2000 and do they want to invest it right now? So you simply ask them, okay, price aside, is this something that you actually want to do right now, right? Do you actually want to start a program right now? Most of the time they're going to say yes. You say, okay, how come? What specifically about this makes you feel like this is the key to the castle for you, okay? They sell themselves on this further. After that, you pretty much just, again, isolate money. Okay, so you're not like, should I do this place? We're going back and forth, whether this is the best next step for your kid to get to that 1500 and get to that career. Sounds to me you're more in a how can I do this place, where you know this is what your kid needs to get that career path. It's just a matter of making it work financially. And as soon as they say yes to that, you're now on the same side of the table because they've just double confirmed that they want the program, but they just need to figure out the money. Great. Now you can go through your payment plans. You can go through your financing options if you have them. You can go through, I don't know, cheaper packages, whatever it is, but you always need to confirm that they actually want the program first. Cool? So before people actually get on the call, you want to make sure that you get in touch with them, right? Call them once they book a call, okay? Call. And on that call, you confirm that they have the link for the Zoom meeting, right? You also ask them some surface level questions, so you don't need to ask them on the call, right? So what year is your child in, what exam board, blah, blah, blah. But make sure that the call, when you're actually phone calling them before the meeting, isn't like more than 5 minutes, okay? You really don't want to get into a program or anything like that on that call. You just call them up, hey, I saw you booked the call, just to confirm, do you have the Zoom meeting? Okay, cool. Can you let me know what year your child is in, what exam board, what blah, blah, blah. Okay, cool. On the call, we're going to go over a bit deeper, like what your situation is and what specific solution we have for you. Is that cool? Cool. Talk soon. All right, that's it. The reason why you want to get in touch with them is because you want to, one, like remind them that there is a meeting. Two, make sure that they have the link. Some people, they're not that tech savvy. They lose the link, or maybe your email reminders go to spam or whatever, and they just don't get them, right? So you want to call them up, make sure everything's all right. Now, the last thing that we need to talk about is the launch and first sales plan, okay? So what would I do to land the first 3 to 5 clients and some troubleshooting scenarios? So literally the only thing you need to do is you need to take these calls once people book them. You need to go through the whole process, make sure that you're taking closing seriously, make sure that you're actually getting their full situation, their full problem and their full goals, and people should start buying. And you literally just rinse and repeat the same process. Now, problem is, what if it doesn't work? There's a few things that can go wrong here. One could be that your ads suck, meaning high lead costs. In that case, you want to try different angles, different offers potentially, and just different ad creatives. If your lead cost is high, your ads suck, all right? Don't try to fix your sales strategy. Don't try to, do different content. Just focus on the ads. Try different ads, video creatives, maybe try some statics, okay? So ad creatives, right? More ad creatives, basically. The next thing is no booking. So here, one of the most common reasons why people wouldn't book is if your landing page sucks, right? So they become a lead, they get onto your landing page and the video sucks or the landing page sucks. So this is going to be landing page / VSL problem. So here you want to make sure that, again, your VSL structure is correct, and then you show them what results you've gotten. You make sure they understand like, hey, this is the program, this is how we get results, and this is why we can give such outlandish claims and how it all works. And then also make sure that, everything's optimized for mobile, for example. A lot of people just optimize for PC and not for mobile. And then, people are scrolling Instagram and Facebook on their phone. So then if your page is not optimized for the phone, it doesn't really work, okay? If you're getting bookings, but they're not showing up, most of the time it's because you don't call them. So start calling them. Very simple. If you're calling them, but they're not answering, try calling them from your personal phone as well, not just from a CRM number. Sometimes CRMs give you bad numbers. It is what it is. Try calling them from your personal as well. If they're still not showing up, then you might have an offer problem. So here, you just ask yourself, am I solving an actual problem, right? Are you? If you're offering SAT tutoring and there's a clear results-driven program, you most likely are. Same with A-levels, GCSEs, 11 plus, any other exam. Just make sure you're not just selling, math help or homework help or English tutoring. Nobody cares about that stuff, okay? And then lastly, nobody buys. Now this is a very clear sales process problem. So here you go back to the sales process. Are we getting the deep emotional reasons for what the problem is, how long it's been going on, what they've tried to fix it, what goals do they have, why do they want that career path, why do they want to get into the university? Do we have a pitch which clearly shows them how we're going to get them from point A to point B? And then lastly, are we actually handling the objections? Or do they just tell us, okay, I'm going to think about it, and you tell them, all right, fine, talk soon, bye-bye. Very simple stuff, okay? So closing problem. So if you want all of this completely built out for you by our team, you can click on the link below this video, book a call with my team, and I'm going to show you exactly how we implement this whole system for your specific tutoring business.